Until now, we were deploying and running our RESTful Java web application on a Tomcat running on local machine. And in this video, we will deploy our RESTful Java web services application to a Tomcat running on a remote EC2 instance. But before we do that, we need to make sure that our project has correct username and password to a database which we have installed and configured on remote EC2 instance. And to update our database name or username and password in our local project, we'll need to go to Hibernate configuration file, which we have under Other Sources, and then Resources folder, Default Package, and here we have Hibernate configuration file. If I double click on it and then switch to Source, I'll scroll down a little bit. Here we have three properties, which is connection URL, connection username, and connection password. We will need to make sure that the name to the database, in my case it's Photo App, and on remote EC2 instance I have also created a database with a name Photo App. If you have created a different name for your database, make sure this value is updated, and then username and password. On my local computer I have created username Sergey and password Sergey when accessing MySQL database. But on a remote EC2 instance, the username and password to my database is different. So I will need to change these two values before I will clean and build this project, repackage my web application archive, and deploy it to a Tomcat running on remote EC2 instance. So let's do that. Let's update our database name, update username and password, and then repackage our project before deploying it to a Tomcat. So I'm going to change my username and I'm going to change my password, and I'll save this file. And now I will click on this button to clean and build this project so that NetBeans can repackage everything into a new web application archive, which will be good to deploy to a remote Tomcat. Now when our project is built, we can go to a browser window and then navigate to Amazon Web Services console. So I will type AWS Amazon.com, and that will take me to Amazon Web Services page. And in the right top corner here, I have sign in to the console. I will sign in, and then from Amazon Web Services dashboard, I will click on EC2. And from the resources dashboard, I'll click on Running Instances link. And this will take me to the page with the list of all the instances that I have running under this account. So I will choose the instance that I want to deploy this web application to. So I'll choose Swift Developer Block. And under Description tab here, I have public DNS, or I can choose its IP address. So I'll take public DNS, and then I'll open a new tab and I'll paste it, and then I do colon and type 8080/manager HTML to go to my Tomcat Manager page. And I'll hit enter to open the page. If it prompts you for a login, you will need to provide username and password, which we have created in Tomcat users XML file. So we will use this Tomcat Web Application Manager page to deploy our application. If I scroll down, here I have a section which I need to use to deploy my web application which I have built. And to deploy my WAR file, WAR stands for Web Application Archive, I'll need to click on Choose File and then navigate to a WAR file which NetBeans has built for me. And to locate that file, you can go to NetBeans and then click on your project and then hold Control button on your keyboard, click and choose Properties. Under Properties, go to Sources, and the very first option will be Project Folder. This is the path to a folder of your root project. You can copy that and then close your properties. And then you can either open Finder window or a terminal window. I'll open terminal. And then I will cd open quotation mark, and then I'll paste and close quotation mark to the root folder of my project. And then I will list all the files under my project. And the folder that I'm interested is called target. So I'll cd to this target folder. Oops, typo. And then I will list all the files there. And under the target folder, I have the web application archive file, which is a deployable archive of my Java Web Services. So this is how you find a web application archive file, which you need to upload to your Tomcat running on a remote EC2 instance. So I'll go back to my web application manager and I'll choose file. I will select web application archive file, which I have just located using the console. And then I will click on open button to select it and click on deploy button to deploy it. It will take a few seconds or maybe up to a minute or two to upload because web application file contains lots of things, so it might be a little bit heavy and it will depend on your internet connection. Okay, I have now uploaded my file. It's first in the list here and its state is running here. I have the value of true and I have some control buttons here. So if I want to stop this application and still have it deployed on my Tomcat, I will click on stop. My project will not be accessible through a remote URL anymore, but it will be there with my Tomcat, or I can reload it or I can undeploy. So if you don't want this project here anymore, you can click on undeploy and this will delete web application archive from your Tomcat. Now I will redeploy it again. I'll choose the file and upload it and click on deploy. Okay, my application is back. It's deployed again, it's running, and I should be able to access it using my Postman and send HTTP request to it and see how it works.